Lucille Williams is a blogger, a public speaker, and author. She's a premarital and marital coach and a children's pastor, and shares weekly encouragement for families and couples at her website, lusays.com. Turtle Finds His Talent is an adorable kids board book that encourages kids to embrace their unique gifts and talents. So welcome, Lucille.
Hello, thank you for having me.
This is such a cute book, and we were just saying that this actually was supposed to come out a whole year ago, but it's finally here now. So congratulations, it must feel great.
Thank you. Yes, I'm very excited.
Tell us a little bit about your own journey that inspired this story.
Yes, as a kid, I had ADHD, but I didn't know I had ADHD. So I always struggled with school. I struggled with paying attention. The teachers always sat me with the boys because I talked too much. And which was fine because I liked the boys, but it was kind of, the joke was kind of on them. So I just always struggled, and I always felt like I wasn't as good as other kids. And so but I was creative. Like I was good at fantasy and creating, but I wasn't good at schoolwork. And I would compare my weaknesses to other kids' strengths. And then as I became an adult, I did the same thing. I mean, how often do we look at other people in their strengths, in their most powerful areas of their lives, and that might be our weakness. And then we think, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? And that's what Turtle Finds His Talent is about, because not all of us have the same gifts. Not all of us have the same talents. And when we find those areas that we excel in, then we can soar, and we can do so much better than when we focusing on our weaknesses.
Well, it's funny because you mentioned how as an adult, I mean, there's so much comparison. We're bombarded by all of this. But do you think that feeling different as a kid actually affected you as an adult? Or is it kind of like it happens as kids, it happens as adults? Like, how are the two connected?
It totally affected me as an adult. And I was old when I figured out I had ADHD. I'm like, a doctor.
It all makes sense.
Yeah. Like, well, this totally makes sense. But yes, it even into my adulthood, it totally affected me. I just thought there was something wrong with me, and I just didn't know what it was. And there were things that were just always a challenge. Like even just having a conversation and acting like you're paying attention was difficult for me. And now I've learned if I'm having a conversation with someone and I'm having a bad day, a bad ADHD day, I'll say, you know what? I have ADHD and you're really interesting, but sometimes I might look away or seem uninterested, but it had nothing to do with you. And especially people that are close to me in my life, I let them know, hey, this is what I'm struggling with. And so because they can feel very dismissed. You know, people that you love, if you can't stay attentive on them and you're all over the place, they could feel like, wow, they really don't care about me. But when we let them know, hey, this is just a struggle I have, it has nothing to do with you, then it makes it so much better in relationships.
Well, and I think too, we get to a place where we can understand others. You know, you understand yourself, you can make that apology, that kind of preamble, but then you can also understand others better and see it as a gift. And I love that about this book. I guess, is it considered a fable or a parable? I guess maybe both, but it's a simple book, but it does not shy away from the message that we're each created so uniquely special by God. How do we help our kids flip that, see it as a positive instead of just recognizing that we're different?
Well, so often in schools, you know, a kid comes home with straight A's and gets a C in math. What happened in math? Why'd you get this C? Instead of looking at all the A's, a lot of times parents will focus on the area that they're struggling. And I think what parents can do is just focus on the strengths of your kid. Not all kids have the same strengths. Like my youngest, when our whole family played softball. And so my husband and I are like, we'll be the coach. We'll put our 5-year-old in softball. It was T-ball then because he was so little. We'll put him in. It'll be so great. Well, game day comes. My husband and I are out in the field with all these little 5-year-olds. And our own child, Joey, goes into the dugout, takes off his cleats, announces to everyone, I'm tired. And then he lays down on the bench. And so there we are, my husband and I, wrangling all of these 5-year-old T-ball players, and ours is on the bench, laying, just saying, I'm not playing. And so we realized, okay, softball is not his thing. And so we had to find other things that were interesting to him. But we didn't get upset. I mean, even though we were the coaches, we're like, whatever, we'll just do the season, have fun with the other kids. But that's what happens. Our children have their own special, unique gifts and talents. And that's what we need to focus in on, and not the things that they're struggling with.
Mm-hmm. That really is the biggest challenge. Our kids we have 2 under 4. And that's where we're at right now, is just trying to say, you know what, we want to be the parents that allow them and give them the opportunities to try new things. Have you found any other, just from your own experience as not only a parent, but now a grandparent, some practical ways that parents can help their kids find and identify their talents?
Mostly it's just being present and paying attention. In our world today, there's so much distraction, so much distraction. Just yesterday, my husband and I went out to breakfast, and there was a family next to us, and mom and dad were on their cell phones the whole time, and they had 6 children right next to them that they were completely ignoring. And it's so hard in today's world with our social media promotion culture to be present right now, to take those phones and put them away and be present with our children and listen and watch and learn from them. I mean, throughout my parenting journey, I learned from my children. They would come home and tell me things, or just how they would navigate a situation. And I would think to myself, wow, that was brilliant. And if you really listen, children will teach you.
So good. Well, I love that this book has so much about friendship, that really is about identifying the differences in each other. And it's really sweet. So as we wrap up, how do you hope this book will encourage kids to be a good friend?
Yes. And, there's so much bullying today. It's just so sad. And what happens is we feel insecure about ourselves, and it's hard for us to cheer for others. So I hope in this book, everyone will recognize, hey, I've got my own special gifts and talents, and I don't need to be worried about other people. I can just shine in my area, and that other kids can help each other shine and just cheer each other on, rather than be critics or be hard on each other or feel like we need to bully each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, being jealous almost.
Yes.
That's what we see a lot with Tanner, this turtle, is that there's a bit of jealousy at the beginning, a little sadness.
Exactly. Yeah. There really is. And we can all learn to look at those things and switch it over and say, no, I need to be happy for my friends that they can do that, even though I can't. Now I get to be part of it because they're my friend. And so if they can do it in a way, I can do it too, because I get to be their friend.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. It's such a simple book, great illustrations, but a strong message, and this little surprise, little pull tab where Tanner pops out of his shell. It is out now. It's Turtle Finds His Talent. It's discovering how God made you special. Lucille Williams. Thank you so much, Lucille.
Thank you so much for having me.